Well, hello, dear viewer, back once again with another beer review. And yeah, I've had a few messages, nice messages, saying hopefully your hospital trip went okay. Um, and the beer thing I did would have been on Sunday now, but I released yesterday. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a head-to-head kind of thing, and yeah, it was good. Had quite a lot of good feedback, and things went okay. Um, I'm in a bit of pain, I have to say. Um, but I've also had some interesting news, but yeah, I'll come to that later on. Let's get into the beer first. And then if you're still around in a bit, yeah, you'll find out about my interesting news. Nothing to do with me. Well, nothing to do with my health, put it that way. It's to do with beer, which is always cool. Anyway, 'tis another one from Beers of the World. I have to say, this magazine is really good. I'm liking it. Nothing about the beer we're doing today, but in general, I felt the magazine had in recent months had not been that good. But this time, the magazine is okay. So shalom to you guys. Anyhow, we are doing this beer. It is Buro, and it is their pale ale. And if you see up there, it's Simcoe, Mosaic, and Equinox. It's a pale ale, and I believe in a kind of New England style, so sort of hazy style, I guess. 4.2% on the ABV. Um, these Buro cans, they all look reasonably similar with this absolute just craziness on here. Not sure if I've actually reviewed this beer previously because they look the same. There we go. Artwork by Yeye Weller and Buro from Germany. And as we all know, avoid those pregnant ladies. They can get you into big trouble. So what have we got? We got barley, we've got wheat and oats, we got hops, we went into that, etc., etc. Pretty cool. Let's see, can, bureau, blah, 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 imported into Scotland, etc., etc. Fantastic. Oh, and the top is black. You know how I like my black top? It's been in the fridge for a good few days, so should be pretty chilled out. Had it sitting for about 10 minutes, but yeah, I was keen to have a beer. Back to the normal kind of tasting glass for today. Um, yeah, interesting times, interesting times. There we go. Oh, there we go. Dump the haziness in right at the end. So it wasn't going to be hazy, and then all of a sudden it became hazy. Come on. Fingers head. Lovely white head, fluffy white head, which is always good, in my humble opinion. And there we go. So there is the Buro, and there is the beer, and there's my dodgy face in the middle. Once again. Ugh, nuts. Right. So Simcoe, what was it? Simcoe, Mosaic, and Equinox. So it is new style, modern style hops used here. Hmm. Sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah, definitely getting that citrus kind of thing going on. I was looking for that kind of Satsuma tangerine kind of thing that to me says Simcoe, and it is kind of there, but there's also a weird sort of chalkiness. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Is it coming from the beer itself, or yeah, is it yeah coming from the nose? We shall see in a minute. please subscribe, click like and all that goodness on the video. Leave some comments, that really does help me out. And I'd like to say, God save the King, because we found out some interesting news about Charles, and he's joined me, unfortunately, being the cancer-stricken people in the world. Well, hey, Charles, that's one more of us and one less than them. God save the King. Oh, yeah, nice hit of zestiness. That orange is there. It's more for a grapefruity kind of thing as well, but maybe that's the mosaic kicking in as well. Nice level of carbonation, but, pardon me, it goes quickly into a kind of smooth, it's not milkshake smooth, but it's into a certain smoothness that just takes the edge off. It was almost borderline zesty up front, and by that I'm talking sort of grapefruity kind of a pith. Some of the other tropical fruits aren't there, which is interesting to me. And I'm trying to pick out what the Equinox kind of done. Interesting. Definitely a hazy beer. Definitely in the new style. I'm so glad they called this a pale ale and not a session IPA, which I think a lot of other people would have done. So well done, Buro. You get extra points, top of the class from Unclejona. Because session IPA, that moniker, really, I don't like it. Wow, it's really like really bitter up front, almost like licking the battery, as I say. It kind of really goes into your tongue, the zestiness, but then is quickly kind of doused, um, partly due to the Simcoe maybe, and that kind of washing of the mouth, but also it descends into kind of creaminess. So it kind of, from a tongue burning zestiness up front, as almost as quickly as you swallow, it's kind of coming off. So it's really interesting. It's like a short, sharp shock. Oh, and try saying that very fast. But then instantly kind of washes and mellows, which is nice. Really high crescendo up front, and then like skiing off the edge of a cliff or something. It's really steep, but then it kind of mellows out, turns into a soft cloud. Ooh, pardon me, dear viewer. There is also a touch of greenery there, but not much, just a touch. Hmm. Interesting, because a lot of the beers in the new style are a little bit sweet. The creaminess sort of overtakes things. There is that in this beer, but it's not overwhelming. It finishes quite dry, in fact. Doesn't have a long creamy finish. The cream kind of finishes quite early as well. So it all kind of disappears very quickly. You know, if you have those really thinly sliced kind of fruits, like really, really thin, and you put it on your tongue, and it literally just dissolves, and then there's nothing. It's kind of what this beer is. It's all up front, very front end loaded, as we call it. Yeah, crazy. Let's dive in for some more. Oh, there we go. We've got a nice line, but not so much there. That top one. Wow, that looks a bit like a face looking at you. On foam watch. What have we got here? Wow, that looks like a bit like Anubis. Wow, a sort of dog-shaped thing. A dog with a pointy nose. Amazing. Now, I did say, dear viewer, that I had a kind of announcement. Well, it sort of is. It's a bit up in the air, and I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know if it's gonna pull off or not. And you know, if you think you're going to be pulled off, and then it turns out that you're not pulled off because you haven't pulled it off, yeah, nothing happens. Right, as you well know, I am a member, quite a prolific member of the Kent Tasting Panel, as well as being a beer judge. Um, and what's happened in the last day is that the chair, our leader, doesn't want to do it anymore. We tried to convince him to stay and all that kind of stuff. But at the present time, he's adamant that he's not going to do it anymore. So I, stupidly or not, said, "Oh, you know what? I wouldn't mind having a go at that." So it's kind of a regional kind of level job, definitely a county level, so it's a Kent thing. Um, so yeah, I might be running the Kent tasting panel, or at least arranging things for them. Who knows? Watch this space, dear viewer. This only happened yesterday, so it's hot off the press. But I've put my name into the ring, um, and I got some really nice feedback from the current chair saying, what did he say? My in beer, he was talking about beer, obviously. He said, my beer enthusiasm is infectious. So I don't know if, when you're talking about beer, infections usually aren't very good, but sometimes goos and lambics and all that kind of stuff, a certain level of infection is good. But anyway, wish me luck, and we'll see how that pans out. If it does pan out, I will tell you, dear viewer. But at the moment, it's only like the second day. He only told me yesterday that he was leaving, so maybe he'll continue. Who knows? But I've put my hat in the ring, as it were, my name in the hat, the cat in the hat. Who knows? Anyway, cheers and beers, guys, and yeah, we'll see what happens with that. There we go. There's another lovely line there. Looks pretty cool. That was a lot more zesty than I thought it was going to be. So there we go. That's the Pale Ale by Buro, and it's the Simcoe Mosaic and Equinox one, 4.2% on the ABV. That is a nice beer, nice pale ale. For me, tiny bit fruity to have too many of those. I reckon for me to session a beer, it has to be a little bit more kind of less hoppy, bit more dishwater like. Anyway, this has been your loving Uncle Jonna, saying Shimon and all that good stuff. And Uncle Jonna will return with another beer review real soon.